Hey, welcome in. Hey, TikTok's actually worked for once. Let's see for how long. Let's get going. So we've got the PC Engine LT from yesterday up there. We need to recap this. So I'll have to take this cage off and then do a full recap on this in a minute. But first, I forgot we've got, well, I hadn't forgot, it's just in the queue, but bouncing between the two. This is a customer that's ordered a re-PCB and tried to do the A6 swap, and they've done it, I think, 2 or 3 times, he said, and can't get it working. So I think they've done it twice and it still doesn't work. So they brought a third Game Gear, but then sent it to us to do, to make sure they don't get wrong a third time, if that makes sense. So first thing will be checking if this is actually working or not, basically. I don't know whether we start with a visual inspection first. Maybe microscope, I think, will be better for this. We got a clean screen, GG clean screen. Hey, afternoon. Yeah, not too bad. Busy. Okay. So I'll just do a quick visual on this. Let's see if there's anything obvious. One of these eyes is different focus now. Yeah, there was all loop sound. Soldering looks pretty good, to be honest. On this, doesn't look like anything's going to be off. Bridge on the left, on the Z80, I presume. Maybe thinking of that. That's just crud. That's not a. It's not a short. I presume that's what you'll be thinking of. I'm kind of running up them fairly easy, just because I know I can tell looking at some of the scope there, not bad. Almost a short there, so that's one that is actually very close to being a short, but it's not. So no need to do much with that. Like, I can clean it up after. That's not a problem. I don't think any of these are going to be a problem on the solder. No, so soldering's all fine on them. Chips are the right way, pretty sure. The re-PCB on the 2A6, they go both Sega writings down, don't they? Or can't you remember off the top of your head? Yeah. No, the 2A6, they go both down, don't they? Sega written down. Yeah. If not, just look at the blank PCB we've got and be sure it's got the writing written on there. I'm pretty sure that's the right way. And then let's now see where we're at, basically. So, audio. Now, the only thing is it's got an original cartridge, which might be a problem. You know, it might be a dirty cartridge, but we'll see. We don't even need a game in. The clock is on fine. Everything else looks fine. So let's just see what we get with this first. You watch, it'll just boot fine. Nope, so no boot. So let's try IPA. And I presume we're also, yeah, we're getting out of red light boot. I'm tapping the reset, see the red light there? I probably can't. Where are we? No, that red light there, tapping the reset. Makes it go on and off. Oh, thanks on TikTok. I just spotted the messages. I keep forgetting. Pretty much TikTok never works these days, so I forget to look over at the comments. Oh, that's why as well. So that's why I never look over at TikTok, because every time I do, it blocks me. So that's the reason I never show up on any of your feeds. It's literally probably 99 times out of 100, it just blocks the stream. And there's nothing we can really do about it. That is what it is. It just happens all the time now on this account, unless I make a new account. So let's try, see what we see on screen. It might give us a hint of what's going on. If we get a game load or anything, if the clock's working, give us a little bit of feedback. So that's that. Interesting. Backlight and nothing on screen. This is a Game Gear. Well, this is a motherboard I've made for a Game Gear. I have to check what version this clean screen is, because we should be getting something on screen and we're getting nothing. We're not even getting a border or anything. So that's a bit weird. So I'll plug that in. Go to GGCS. Yeah, let's make. Oh, now I've plugged it in. Oh yeah, so on the Game Gear, this is what I wanted to see. No GG. Obviously, this is because I've plugged it in to here, so it won't be powering this up. But if we wanted to power it up still, we can plug this in here. Now the Game Gear will actually load fully. But let's go to the website and see what's going on first, because when it's connected, I would have thought we'd have seen. Let me just give this guy a free upgrade. Let me just hide that out the way, man, while I upgrade. Let me move that out of the way so you don't see my keyboard. That's it. So now go back to there and check status. This should be upgraded to Ultra. So now we've got everything unlocked. So Game Gear is actually running, which is weird because I thought, maybe I'm wrong on the V4, I thought we actually got a border, but we don't. So if we click capture, we're capturing black screen. So we go to screen as its device. We can see we've got the VSync and HSync from the Game Gear all giving us actual data. So it is running fine in the sense that it's actually it is the Game Gear running and the Game Gear sending a black screen. That's what it means. We can open the on-screen menu as well. So if I go to, say, there and overlay that, if I click open screen on-screen menu, you can see the clean screen's fine, but the game, obviously we haven't got a game in, so let's put a game in now and reset. And the stats are all the same. And if we hold it down, if we hold, see here, if I hold the reset, that should then go no GG. So there you go. So everything's functional on the clean screen. The Game Gear is just literally black screen, which is, let me see what we've got on settings. 14 beta 3. Let's go to, I'll just unplug that USB for now. Just going to upgrade this device a minute to the latest beta. It won't make any difference to this issue, but I'm just going to upgrade it. So it is, well, it's dead in a sense. It's just black screen, which is normally no game load. So I'm going to suspect the game cartridge is bad, like the cartridge slot. It could be the Z80, it could still be any of the chips, but the customer's mentioned he's already swapped this twice, so that's what's making me suspect his game cartridge is the fault. So that's upgraded fully now, so unplug that. So at least we know we're on the very latest firmware. Let's just do one more sanity check. That it's not loading. And then you can see there, no load. So let's take a look at the cartridge slot first, because if it wasn't such good soldering, like that's literally as good as we do on the soldering. So the customer's obviously more than capable with soldering. That's literally as clean as you get for soldering. So I don't think he's going to swap this, these chips over twice wrong. Might have, but I don't think it would be that. So that's what's making me think, especially considering he's done it twice, it's just going to be something simple like this game slot, like the original cartridge slot. I think this is going to be faulty or needs bending in or something, because the symptoms also match. If you're not getting game load, it's just black screen. It's literally as if you've got no game in. And nice, yeah, the OG working. That was I showed off on stream as well, figuring that out. Trying to get the OG Xboxes to work. We've just fixed another one up a few minutes ago, and we've got another 2 or 3 ends still to do. So everybody's having the maxed out OGs at the minute. Hey, welcome from Alaska. One place I nearly went years ago and never did. So close that website. Let's look in this game slot. So if we look down here and maybe get some light in. Maybe that's a bit too much light. Well, actually, that's not bad for the lighting. So see them pins in there. And if I get my little bendy tool. So if you want to bend these out, you get like a little hook tool like this to hook under. Like you'd hook under there, for example. And you would lift up these pins like this to bring them out. So you see that one's a bit more forward now. Ooh, thanks for the subs, nice. So we need to look through all these, and again, all these seem perfectly fine. See how they're all falling in line? So they're all, you know, pretty much where you'd expect them to be. Every one of them. So again, I don't know. You know what we can maybe do? I've never tried this before, but I wonder if I can get a game slot in there while it's got the original on. I bet we can. And then that. Oh, I haven't got a game slot. Well, I have, but where's that connected? Not there. Ah, there we go. So I'm wondering whether we can plug that in and leave the original connected, so we don't have to mess with that. It's going to be tight, but I reckon we can. Thanks for the sub as well. I need that notification to stay up long. It's so fast I can miss them so easy. Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be harder to get out than it is to get in. Ah, yeah, you're welcome. So I'm always on the Discord. 7 days a week. And that's in. So now we have a dual slotted Game Gear. That's going to be interesting. I wonder what would happen if we put 2 games in. You could have Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Might load Sonic 3 then. I am tempted to boot this like that. I've got no idea what that'll do. You'll have 2 games fighting for each other, I think. Might try that on one of my own. Alright, so let's listen out for audio on this. And at least if this doesn't give audio, then it's not the game slot. Which maybe then they're just overheating, or they've just been really unlucky with the A6. Yes, this is definitely not loading. Interesting. So I don't know whether they really have just been that unlucky. Because normally as well, if it's working at all and it's the game slot, so say this is partially a dirty game slot and you were moving this about like that, you'd hear normally the audio glitch or screech or do something. There's no sound whatsoever. So this is, I think this is dead completely in terms of one of the chips, even though they're soldered nice and the customer's done it twice. So I'm going to start with the Z80 because no game load at all. Can be Z80, and maybe they've overlooked this. Maybe they've swapped the A6 twice and not focused on the Z80. And does the 2A6 come with the Z80 on? Doesn't, does it? The little chip on the left. Yeah, so it doesn't come with one. So let's just get this off, and we will swap this out first. That's my first guess. So normally, if you get no game load at all, or a solid colour screen like a purple screen or a green screen, it's fairly common that it's the Z80. It can be the CPU, it can be the game load, so it's not a guarantee, but I'd say fairly often if you're getting like nothing at all, the Z80 is more of a suspect than the A6. So that's that off. And like I said, the soldering is literally on par with what we do. There's definitely not a problem with the soldering on this one, so I think the customer's just been more unlucky than anything. Whatever's faulty is, it's almost guaranteed to be one of these 3 chips. But we'll see which one it is. Ignore the comically oversized soldering iron tip. I've got no tip. I need to I need to buy the correct size one. Oh, that's just interesting. I think it's usually, this is a lead-free solder. Mix a bit more lead in there, get it softer. Tell you what, if he's done that with lead-free solder as well, it's even more impressive. I can just tell how it's not flowing nice with the heat, that's definitely lead-free solder. Right, so that's cleaned up, kind of cleaned up. A bit dirty there, but that'll reflow when we warm up. So let's just chuck a new Z80 on there. No, you didn't. It's that was a weird flicker then. It's sitting right there. So just not got round to. We'll do it after we've done this game gear, hopefully, or we'll make a start on it. Oh yeah, you're looking for that one chip. Then so chip on there. I think I will just let me swap this gigantic tip back to a normal pointy tip. Actually, I think I've got that. Still got the little spade tip, but it doesn't quite work right. Knife tip. I'll hot air this one, I think. I normally find the Z80s don't hot air very nice. I don't know why, they just don't. So you tend to hot air them so far, and then I tend to finish them with an iron anyway. So. Yeah, you could do that on the clean RGB. There's the problem you've got is, even if you wanted to say remove components, the C-Sync goes straight to the ASIC, I believe, so you have to cut traces if you want to leave them on. But yeah, you could try and perfectly clear the holes with like desolder braid, and then leave them floating in the centre of the hole like you're talking about, so they're not physically touching the pins. It'll be difficult-ish, but it should be doable. Let's now go to microscope. And this is what I mean with the Z80. It doesn't ever seem to flow very nice with hot air. So I tend to hot air it on, and then just touch it up with a soldering iron basically. I don't know why that's so blown out on the camera. If you change the exposure on this a bit. Did I miss a notification of something? I just heard the noise and I can't remember what that noise is. I think that's a notification for something. Right, so there's the... I'm forgetting as well, I've actually zoomed this camera in now, so I could have probably just zoomed that in enough to work on almost. Like that, I could have probably worked on that. So there we go. I'd argue the customers look neater than mine. Like, no, I'm blaming the fact I've got this completely used and abused tip from Zach. He's nicked my fresh one, so that tip does not transfer heat at the minute well. But I think the customer did a better job than I did there. So let's see if this now boots. Sonic 2 audio. And let's just listen out for hopefully something. Nothing at all. So let's maybe plug the screen in just to see, out of curiosity. This is a strange one. Like, it still could be obviously the CPU or the VDP. It's just more of the fact, like I say, the customer's already swapped it twice. Leans away from that being the issue. Maybe a visual inspection of this board as well first. Now let's see. In fact, let's also, I'll tell you what might be a good test. Let's plug this into PC. Let's see if the frequency swaps when we change that switch, which actually, yeah, it does changes frequency, doesn't it? So we can plug this into the PC in a kind of hackish way, which involves doing this. And now we can monitor. This is the benefit of having the clean screen V4. We can pull up the website and you see how it says VSync 50 Hz and toggle, and it says 60. But interestingly, oh yeah, no, that's right. The out of spec's just technically wrong on the signal there, because I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. I'd have to zoom in quite a bit. Go to full screen. The side menu here, which I don't know whether you can see on the vertical stream, you'll see here as we flick the switch, it changes the mode and the frequency is changing. So that's all. This is what's weird. It's all running as if it's just not loading a game. Like, everything's operating. It's swapping frequency. It's outputting screen data. Yeah, 50 Hz, 60 Hz. Let's check if it detects SMS, which is here GG. If we then pull the game out, interesting, that dropped the connection then. GG. Right, so there's one issue. The mode is GG. And if I put a GG game in, the mode's still GG. That should be SMS or GG. And that's never changing. So there's a slight problem. So the fact it's saying it's in GG mode all the time is not normal. That means that one of the chips is probably dead, because the GG pin or the SMS pin as it would be, yeah, so the SMS pin here, with nothing in, the SMS pin should be 5 volts. So we go to ground, check we've got 5 volts itself, which is there. And then if we probe on the SMS pin, it's grounded. So that shouldn't be grounded. So it's likely, that's one hint that there is a faulty chip on the board. Or a physical short. So let's maybe take the clean screen out, because there's quite a few things connected. The least the better. And let's move Sonic 1 out the way. Let's see if we've still got, well, let's see if we've got a short at all, or just not generating voltage, basically. What am I doing? Ground and SMS. Do we have a test pad for SMS anywhere? I should know I made this board, but I can't remember. There. Yeah, so we have a dead short on SMS pin. Hey, welcome in. So let's look at, I'm going to pull up, this is the benefit of making this, I can pull up the schematic for this board, and let's have a look at everywhere that the SMS pin goes. But we've already checked all the ASIC and stuff, so what I probably will do is lift the ASIC pin up off the chip and check if that's short in it or the physical board is short in it. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So to ASIC, KeyCAD Pro, open this up and go to here. This is a customer that's done a really good solder job, so probably better than I do. Right, lovely and clean. And then there's my replacement job, not even as clean. Two slots, no, this wouldn't. This was just a way to check. I mean, if I'd maybe misaligned these pins, or there was a faulty game slot potentially, but let's just rule that out straight away, because we know it's not that. We've looked in the original game slot and that looks clean and level and everything, so customers either straighten that out or again checked it and it's fine. So that's that out, and then we can probe ground and SMS here. So still got a short. So now let's go to here. Use a broken DSXL as the Game Boy Advance down in the bottom half. Yeah, I don't work on them, but you basically just have to add a resistor, a load resistor, on the backlight circuit to the top screen. So it thinks that it basically has a current sense on the top screen to check if the top screen's operational. So you can bypass that. If you just look up like a DS top screen bypass, it'll just be a resistor that you add to the backlight. Hey from Neither Haywood. Hey, welcome in. It's a 2-player mod, yeah. It's just the way against Sonic 3 on. Right, so SMS pin. We go to SMS pin here. Press this special button. And now we can see everywhere it goes. So the first one is this resistor here as a pull-up. So let's see if that's on the board. Yes, it is. Let's, just for the sake of it, plug power in and make sure we're getting 5 volts to the resistor, which we obviously will be, but it won't be coming out the other side because of the dead short. So voltage on there, so I suppose show you there. I really need to get this multimeter software done. So ground, 5 volts is 5 volts, and the resistor is 5 volts. So yeah, not an issue there. This TV wants to turn off on me. There we go. Right, so back to schematic. So we know it's not that. It goes under the board, up to the test pad, into the connector. So 4th pin in, there's a ground pin next to it. So let's just check that isn't shorted. No, perfectly clean. So 4th pin here to there, there's no short. Then it goes up to the SMS pin here. There's no ground anywhere alongside it, but just for the sake of it, flip over, it'll be that pin there that you can see on the inside. So let's just check on this. It's that second pin there. And again, no solder. That's the beauty of having good cameras. No solder leaking there. Flick over, nothing there. So there's definitely no short there. Next, it's almost definitely going to be the ASIC. And I believe both of them get it. It also actually goes all the way over to this, but again, the only pin there is 5 volt. But we can still take a look at the connector. And then this connector. So both connectors, third pin up and second pin up. But neither of them have ground next to it, so I doubt it's going to be the connectors. But let's just take a quick look. No, and you can see solder connections there. Nothing joining, so you'd be looking for those 2 pins at the bottom joining, and they don't. And then on the other side, yeah, sound. And these are again electrically tested at the factory, so we've never had a single faulty PCB board, and we've done thousands. I think we're on like the second lot of thousands now, so I highly doubt the actual board is going to be faulty. We've literally never had one yet. Let's take a quick look around the general resistors anyway while we're here, because there's not that many components on. No, so that's good. So we are pretty much going to be down to the CPU actually is the only thing that gets the SMS pin now. So the only place left is this pin. So I can guarantee if we lift this pin, it's going to be the CPU this side is shorted. So for that, we're going to look for the SAMP pin, a via, and then the trace above the via. That's how we're going to spot this nice and quick. So we go to here, full focus, zoom in. Oh, we are zoomed in. So we have the SAMP pin there. There's that trace going up and over, and then this pin here is the SMS. So there's nothing there. Definitely no short. So what we're going to do is lift that pin up and prove whether it's the board or the ASIC. It's almost definitely going to be the ASIC. The bolts, no, they're just sitting on top of plastic. The bolt's the other side, though. I know what you mean, actually. No, he's put... that is a very good point. Well, let's prove it first. But yeah, these are... Never thought about that. And what am I doing on camera? Turn that off. Where are we? These things. It's put the original metal washers on here, pushing down on the circuits. This could well be shorting all these pins together. Yeah, that's a good shout. Let's leave them on a minute though. Let's lift the leg of the ASIC before we do that. But yeah, I saw them, but never really thought. I thought they were plastic, but then obviously the other side is is actually metal. So yeah, might be that. So now if we get bent pin, it's this leg. So warm him up here. See how this tip doesn't work? Oh, because my iron's turned off, that's right. Come on, iron, wake up. Oh, my JBC software's to blame. Open up. There we go, thank you for waking up. Right, so warm this one up. Leg in. End up. So that's now off the board. And we can test now if it's going to be those metal clips or the CPU. So one probe on ground. Let's test the CPU first. Oh, Oh, short's gone. Why is the short gone completely? Okay, the short's disappeared fully. Okay, let's put that leg back down. Wasn't expecting that. There's that leg back down. Okay, problems disappeared. Maybe that was, even though it looked perfect, this is what I've had before on some. They can look absolutely perfect, but have like a wisp of solder inside, you know, like inside here where the tracks go in, and you can't see it under these legs, but that's now completely gone. That's straight, there's no way that's just the first one, maybe just reflowing them then. Or is it once it's powered up and got juice, it shorts out again? Let's go to voltage. No, so it's... Huh. So now it's back to shorted for no reason. Oh, we weren't testing with the gaming, were we, before? We weren't that stupid. Right, the short's gone off there. SMS is now working. Not that you can see it. There we go. SMS is now 5 volts. That definitely wasn't before, was it? We had it in the computer. So let's plug it back in the computer a minute. Which is, we're going to have to put the clean screen back on. So if this now shows SMS correctly, I'm going to suspect, even though all them pins look really nice and clean, that they've been individually pin soldered and there's maybe dry joints inside that you can't see, wisps of solder. Because that SMS pin was definitely showing ground, and just lifting the pad and putting it back down, it solved it. So let's see now on PC. And pull up that, so we can see GG is written on the side menu. Is there a place I can show it you nice and large? Right, so there in the centre, CGG, nice and big. Got GG written there. Now if I remove the game, SMS. So now that's working, and it definitely wasn't before. We've seen that not working, so that is proving that the soldering, even though it looks really good, is probably the problem. So what we're going to have to do is reflow, but luckily I don't think we're going to have to swap the chip. Maybe we could still be dealing with a bad chip, but the fact that one random pin there, the SMS, was shorted, even though we couldn't see it under the scope, it was absolutely flawless. That's when you have these pins normally soldered one at a time with a soldering iron instead of hot air reflow. I might be wrong, but that's the only time I ever normally know it to have like hidden shorts that you just simply can't see. There's also, I think we should take these off just for good measure first, because maybe that wasn't, like, the SMS pin was definitely bad. Maybe we're lucky that that was the only bad pin, and maybe these are crushing traces. So it's worth still taking these off. before we go down the reflow route. With the right size, so that will do. So he's definitely coming out a minute. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's destroyed the re-PCB. There's the problem. That's ragged to the traces. So these metal rivets of the original have been bolted down, and yep, there's the issue. That's why. But we also had the issue on the SMS pin. Maybe that was though these rivets, and we were just lucky by moving it around that solved the SMS issue. But I doubt it. I'm pretty sure that was a solder issue. But let's get these off. And what do we reckon? Oh yeah, I mean, they may or may not be the issue. They're not like that bad that they definitely cut through, but they've done some impact there. We'll have to check under the microscope for that. But let's just do one last sanity check, and then we'll do an actual proper continuity check on them pins. It makes more sense to be those pins because it's acting like, I say, it's fully working, it just can't load game, and those traces will be data and address pins, which would stop game load. So it does add up to, I think, a broken trace more than anything. Let's get Sonic to him. Now we've at least taken that off. Do we get anything? No is the answer. So let's now look at that damage under the scope to be absolutely sure what's gone on. But yeah, I would not, I've never had anyone actually do that. But I wouldn't recommend putting the original metal back down. Oh yeah, that's literally sheared. Yeah, that's done some serious clipping action there. I mean, you can see it's dug into the board there, and that's sliced through that trace there. But luckily, I mean, the cheap fix for this is grind it away and blob solder over for now, because all of these are close enough that we can just blob solder over the cuts. But yeah, they've sliced through like a Stanley knife. So that is definitely going to be, I reckon that's the issue. Oh geez, wow, that one, yeah, there's your problem on that one. That is clean cut through. Oh yeah, that's totally and utterly, yeah, that's sliced them like butter. Let's just let's clean them up. Where have they gone? There. What caused it? The customers installed the original rivets, you know, off the original game cartridge, because they've got an original cartridge on. So they've reinstalled the rivets and then bolted them with actual nuts and bolts, like proper jobby. So, but yeah, absolutely torn through. So maybe too much prep work and too much bolts and braces on this one. So let me just That one is an absolute goner. Like, I know for a fact that trace is gone. My poor re-PCB. It's the first one that's now been damaged. Yeah, so to be honest, that one's hanging on for grim death, but it's actually, I think it's technically on. I mean, look at there's a whisper there of copper. So even though that's got a cut through, I think that may still technically be joined. But there's no way all this is not going to reveal at least one damaged trace. Like fully severed trace. No, he's gone. So even though it's got like a hairline there, it's gone by the time it's passed through. So it looks like to me it's joined there, but I think this edge here has cut. So what we can do is just flow over like so. Because there's such fine cuts, that's a repair job. So that's now restored that. This is ground, so we don't care about that. We've gone past the, actually we haven't gone past the cut, we need to go right past that cut. Yep, so that's fine. That's all ground plane. This needs to be checked. Ooh. These bits need to be exposed. Yeah, that one's completely severed. That one is as well, so there's two more. That bit's the ground plane, so I don't care about that, but those two traces are important. No, I think that SMS pin... Oh, actually, no, tell a lie. Let's see if the SMS pin passes past them holes. Because, yeah, that might have been that intermittent short. So these are the holes they've gone around. And these are the traces that have been cut. There you go. The trace going over the top to SMS and ground. So on the right side, the closest pin, that's where that short's come from. So we go to wrong camera. I think it's the one we're on actually. Two traces. Oh no, it can't be. That's the other side. Let me get my bearings where I'm actually looking at here. This is the rear side. Oh yeah, so we are. This is the underside. Yeah, so two traces going across top. That's the other one over here. Yeah, so this trace is SMS here. So this one is the SMS and this is ground. So literally what's happened is this pin has joined to this pin because the rivet is metal. So it's bridged SMS here to ground here. So that's literally what's happened there. So let's just do, I know we've got the other side to do, but let's do this side as well while we're here. But yeah, there's the SMS trace. That one. So that's exactly how the SMS pin's been shorted. So now outside over to inside. So that's actually fine. This one, fine, but it goes up to here. Let's go outside of the trace there. Yep, so he's been lucky on most of them, but the SMS was joining from there to there, so he hasn't been lucky on that bit. And then let's just expose everywhere around the circle. So now I don't think anything on this side's been damaged. That's fine. No, so they haven't severed through anything there. No, not a design flaw. You're not meant to put these rivets in. These have been cut off the original, cut in half, and then readapted. So these aren't... Nobody, well, put it this way, nobody in 1,000 re-PCBs has ever done this. These don't come with the kit. They're not designed for it. You don't put them back in on the original. There's like literally no reason you'd ever do that or would do that. It's something I could always move the traces on the next one if possible, but when you see how tightly packed the design is, if you look at here, for example, and we go to maybe clear that off, you can see how many traces there are and how little room there is to run anything. Like, you tell me where you're going to run them traces if you don't run them under there. That's how tightly packed this design is. So you've got no hope. You have to go to 4-layer board and then double the price of the product. So doable, but no reason to, and nobody's ever tightened metal washers straight over a PCB, basically. So back to the only issue was this trace was cut and the washers were shorting pins. And then these were up to the point of checking these, weren't we now? Yeah, or you could literally use plastic, nylon, anything. Or what 99% of people do is just use a game slot. There's not many people that even install the original cartridge reader. There's very little reason to even do that. Right, so I think that's everything there. I think we've checked. So the rest is ground plane. That one was severed. Now it's fixed. So I think the main issue, other than being really aggressive on the traces, they have survived, bar one, but it would have been shorting all of those traces together. The other side wouldn't have suffered because there's plastic on, so this would not have had an issue. But yeah, this has been tightened to all hell. It's even dug in the plastic. Like, I think that's been done in a vice. So I reckon now this will work. This desk of it. Shall we just go for a full boot? We might as well. Get the screen in. Where's my tweezers gone? Game in, audio. And there we go. So yeah, good spot there. I did see them washers on, but never really give it too much thought. So saves us hot swapping an ASIC off. Yeah, cool. Right, coffee. Make a coffee and then we'll jump on this PC Engine LT. I'll just do a little bit on it. Start the recap off, I reckon. And this one pretty much. Yeah, you just don't need, that ain't going anywhere. You don't even need the bolts in. If so, I'd recommend the customer just use rubber washers. I'll give him his original Z80 back as well. But this one can be wrapped up and sent back now. And then they've also got another full Game Gear, so I might just message them before sending it back as well and say, do they want potentially another re-PCB? Because they might want to make another one with the other Game Gear they've now got. They did say they'd put ASIC loose in a bag, but there's nothing. There's no ASIC loose in a bag anywhere. Sure, that's what they said on the notes. 3 ICs loose in a container from a defective DG. 1 working that and 1. Yeah. He said he's included 3 loose ICs, but he hasn't. This is all we've got. Maybe he's forgot. I'll let him know that anyway. There's no loose ICs anywhere. That's all there is. But either way, it's working now. UV coating on the traces. Yes, I'll coat them. It'll need to get cleaned up yet anyway. Cleaned up, customer emailed, and they might want a re-PCB swap at that point. I don't know whether they're going to be happy with wanting the traces just exposed. I would have thought so. There's no harm in it, but they might want it transferred into another board. So I won't do any further work on this one yet till I've spoken to the customer, basically. But at least we know what the issue is. So. Right then, clear the desk. And back on this thing. So I'm just going to make a drink and then be back in a second. Right then, coffee sorted. My aircon is definitely dying in my games room as well. Yeah, I've just heard back from the aircon guy. I've said like it's Zach's room's going cold and working, then not. My software room is pretty much never working, but then randomly does. So we've said it's maybe the valves, but he's just put it. It all points to the outdoor unit, knackered anyway now. Does it still work on one leg? So, and this is a different guy that was quite happy to look into fixing them. So, swapping them all for, I think Mitsubishi. You said, didn't you? Maybe, or Mitsu, something along those lines. I think, or Hitachi. I don't know, but let me see what he recommended. It's like $3,000 to swap them out, and I think they're going to be not a combi as well. I think they're going to be 2 independents. So let me just check. So it seems a decentish price, just more money again, but still. Hitachi 5-year warranty is the one he's said. He said everything is out of stock at the minute. I think he offered a few others as well. The other brands, but yeah, he's saying a Hitachi. Any good, or would you say no? It's got to be better than the broken one, put it that way. Right, so this is a PC Engine LT for those that didn't see yesterday. This is the front, so like a giant GBA SP to play PC Engine games. We've got it to the point where it boots and works in a sense. Yeah, I'll ask him about the Mitsubishi ones. Oh yeah, the aircon guy says he's got orders with aircon units that are not even delivered for 2 or 3 months. Like mine's still going to be 2 months. Says he can't even get them for customers. Like that's how overdone they are. But these units, one of the units I've had for a good while, so I've got my use out of it. It's just more money that I don't want to spend at the minute. Right, so we're going to take this metal cage off first. This metal cage and do a recap in the hopes that it fixes the audio, because it's basically we've got the system working now, with the exception of pretty much the audio. Dakin, never know how you pronounce that one. Yeah, it doesn't help as well that my games room has my server room attached to it, and the fan, the way I cooled the you'll love this one. The way I cooled my server room was to blow the hot air into my games room. So I drilled a hole in the wall and put a fan blowing out my server room into my games room. So the games room is permanently warmed up by the server room, and then I have an aircon in the games room to cool that room instead of cooling the server room. So there you go. Look at that metal shield that actually desolders properly. So that is loose like it should be. So completely off. So this won't be like that 20-minute job. What was that shield we were trying to move? Was that the PC Engine? I think that was the PC Engine GT, wasn't it? We were trying, or was it? No, it was the Atari Lynx. Took me about 25 minutes on stream to remove a cage just because it had bent legs and it didn't work right. Whereas this is, I can guarantee this will just not work and just basically fall off when we're done. There you go, literally just fell through. Oh, the cage is already off. Yeah, that's how cages should come off. Just fall out. Oh yeah, I forgot how many caps are on this. So look at this lovely thing. Caps all around the plastic. Caps, basically everywhere you see a cap is by plastic that you're going to melt. So this will be a fun recap. Where do we even start? So literally plastic, plastic, relay, plastic, plastic. Yeah. Do we still hot air this? There's not many we can hot air off. Choose them tweezers I keep forgetting I own. See if we can get them off with this. This is 47. I'm terrible at using these things as well. I forgot what the technique was. Was it like push down, lift off? There we go. Fell off either way. No, it's a new one. Oh no, that's the lid. The new one's down there in the corner of Eston. That's the Bozoed one.
I was going to say, there's no screw one.
There's no. It's the bashed one. Not pinch, then push, squeeze last time. Yeah, I think it was push down on the board, wasn't it? And then pinch and lift. I just do not use them enough to get used to them. Let's do these one at a time. I'll only do 40 minutes now because I've got lots to be doing. So, yeah, shall we just use this comically oversized Soldering Iron tip anyway? You might as well, yeah. There we go, monster Soldering Iron tip for the tiny. Now I'm going to take it off crazy big. Let's go with I'm going to go with the only tip that actually works, but it's a point, so it's not really strong enough. Next one, this one, so we should be able to get this with tweezers. Of course, it's fitting these things in. This is why you have to use them upside down sometimes, which is not the way. There we go. So yeah, you push the tweezers down without pinching. I actually recommended that Soldering Iron size to you back then. It works fine. Works on all of them. I've got every version. This is the actual official JBC. So these, like this, I've shown it off in many videos. This one alone will tin massive ground planes perfectly fine. The tip I always use is this one, but this is worn out, so it's not passing. Like the knife tip is knackered at the minute, and I'm to order a new one. But no, you don't need a 245 at all. If you've got a genuine JBC, you do not need a 245. Not for anything we're doing here. It's way overpowered. For the fake ones, yeah, because they don't push enough power. Right, this is a 3.3. Get my other kit out. There we go. And what next? We've got 2 through holes. So we've got 3, 4 through holes. Oh no, let's get this one out first. 22. This is probably going to be this way to fit in as well because we're so close to plastic everywhere. Oh no, we're going to see how we've just started bubbling him. I reckon this one is I don't like doing this on any of them, but pinch the can in and then gently lift off. Now, see, that's why I don't like doing that. That pad's going to have to be repaired now. So that pad's clean off. That is a 22. That's why I always say to people, never twist the pads off, because Some people will do it on all of them and never have issues, whereas this is exactly why I don't like twisting off. But in that case, with everything else being around, it's better to have a pad at the side there than it is melted connectors. And then what we'll do is we'll solder this one onto that pad first and push in, so we can work this way around. And that was 22. But yeah, some people will say they twist caps off all the time and never have issues, and it's like, no, you can. It depends if they're leaking as well, you see. So that cap was likely leaking slightly underneath and weakening that glue, or the age of the consoles can weak the bonding to the PCB anyway. So that one, because we're going to go to there, let's just twist him slightly. There we go. Couldn't get through heat. That was probably just the tip wearing out. That's this tip I'm on about. The knife tip. It just literally, it's used. We've used it for months and it's worn out basically. But no, you'll notice by the power draw as well. If I use that other tip, it doesn't even pump the power. So that's how you kind of know it's not like the tip's not working. That's the benefit you can see. Caps, I'm replacing these ones with ceramics, and these, this one, 100 microfarad will be ceramic, the 470 won't. So this will be a ceramic, this will be an aluminium, this will be an aluminium. So that's that one on. Fuse was good, we checked him. So let's get now this off, and we can probably just flood this with solder on both pins and it'll fall out, I'd say. And with that being a ground plane, that's where we'll put big fat tip on, I reckon. If I could actually get this tip to come out. Oh, it was out. Choose big tip. And that is the 470, so we'll want to clear those holes because we're going to be putting an aluminium back in there. That one doesn't clear all the way through. That one actually cleared or not? It's hard to tell. Notice that one's not quite cleared yet. And sometimes just adding the extra solder back into the hole allows the heat to transfer through. Now, so that one I'm just going to desolder pump then, I reckon, which is from this side, I reckon is easier. So we will fill it with solder, like so we can get the conductivity through the hole, like that. And we'll just come in with a desolder pump and clear it that way. I normally use desolder pump, I don't usually use wick, but I change it up every time I come to do a hole. If we were using hot air, this would be a lot quicker. But obviously, because we're not, because of all the plastic everywhere, this will be a bit slower process. So, nice and clean. You can see there a little bit of rot as well, so see that dark green? That will be where the capacitor was leaking. And that's a bit of electrolyte that's leaked onto the board and started to eat through. So that's the sign these caps are leaking. And you can see all there under there is probably, when we remove that, you'll see the same issue. And we know it's leaked everywhere because this side of the board has all that juice on. Obviously we cleaned it off on the last video, but you can see remnants of it all over here. All that there is the cap electrolyte, that there. So we know these caps are obviously leaking. That'll be why. If the caps weren't leaking, that pad would probably twist off fine, but because it's been leaking, it makes that weak. Caps from the UK, us. If you go to retro6.co.uk, we do cap kits. We do ceramic cap kits, normal ones, specific kits. Resealing won't really stop rot, it'll just stop oxidation. So you don't tend to. You can blob a tiny bit of conformal coating or UV coating on there, but I don't normally know. Afternoon in TikTok land. There's only, unfortunately, they block the stream, so you won't really be, like, we'll get nobody in. We've got like 1 or 2 people in because they just block the streams every time we start them. I just do it now for, I don't even know why I do it, to be honest. But yeah, it's on the verge of, if we want to do TikTok, I might as well really make another account just for lives, because they don't. Which way is pause? Right, the dot is neg, so it goes that way. So on here, see the little dot there on the ring? So there's a little white dot. If we look at another one where this stripe is ground, you can see we have a dot. Like, you can just about tell there's a dot there. So the dot is indicating ground in this case. So make sure the stripe matches the dot. I'm just going to leave this comically oversized tip on for now, because we do need to clear holes. The thin one I've got, the thin tip isn't really big enough, and my other tip that I use for everything that would have worked for both cases is knackered. I keep saying it and I keep needing to buy another one, and then I never get around to doing it. Right, so this one, we've done this one. We need to take this one off now. It is forward and backwards, so it's them 2 pins. Why is everything so compact on this board? No, I haven't done a new TikTok yet. It started, I was on stream for a good few days in a week, and then they stopped blocking me because I was going on regular. So I thought, oh, we'll leave it, and then obviously I didn't come on because I was busy, and it's gone straight back to just pretty much blocking me again. So I don't know, it's like almost as if, is this one going to be, yeah, this is going to be ceramic, so we don't need to clear the holes. It's as if I work on it constantly, then they stop blocking me. It's weird. Yeah, so this is you can see this cap has leaked, so see how the bottom is just weirdly shaped and domed, and all this here is partly flux and partly leaking electrolyte. You can kind of tell by the shape, it's just a bit balloony at the bottom. But yeah, that's a leaking cap. 100 microfarad. In fact, I'm going to put... No, we will. We'll put ceramic on there to clean that up. On this, yeah, they did. Everyone I've seen, they used it, so we're actually replacing like for like, because the ones I'm putting on are as well. It's like the perfect demonstration that you can use any tip for any job. Like famous last words, I can barely get in there. That's that on. Right, we have this tricky little sod right in between everything, but shouldn't be a problem for us. Well, I say it shouldn't be a problem. It's going to be fun to put back on. We'll definitely put a aluminium back on here either way. That's these two pins, because there's no way we're getting a soldering iron down in that gap to do a surface mount anyway. And you can tell this cap's leaked because this iron doesn't want to pass heat to those pins, so it's not wanting to bond. So you like the yellow texture, and that's how you kind of know it's got electrolyte leakage. So we'll probably put some flux on here. There we go. Yeah, you can put ceramics on. You need to know what you're doing. This is 470. You need to know what you're doing to replace them. You don't just go replacing them blind. But people ask it all the time. I don't like to. One, I don't like to tell people just go and do it anyway. But at the same time, I also tell people not to be too afraid to figure it out. But in 99% of cases, you can swap any ceramic 100 microfarad or less in place of where an aluminium was. People will tell you all kinds of stories why you can't do it, and 90% of the time they're completely wrong, and it's actually the exact opposite way. But I design hardware, so I know what I'm doing, and you can look at certain parts of circuit, like for example this is the transistor with switching, so this is dropping down a 9 volt to a 6.5 volt. So these are bulk caps on either side, and this is just a PNP transistor. There's no requirement for ESR So I know for a fact this is perfectly fine. If you wanted to, you could replace all of these with ceramics, even the large ones, but it makes no sense to replace the large ones with ceramics because they cost more. But there's situations where some, say, power regulator circuits expect a little bit of series resistance on the cap to be able to monitor for voltage, to be able to self-regulate, stuff like that. If you swap them for ceramics, then things go completely wrong with the circuit. So there are cases where you can't do it, but majority of the time you can. Like I say, don't just go blindly doing it if you don't know the circuit. And it's not something that's just a simple answer of why can you on this one. Every situation's slightly different. No, ESR is completely different. Ceramics have next to no ESR, very low. That's why they're perfect for most things. You don't want the ESR. Aluminiums have a high ESR. But you can get low ESR aluminiums specifically. They actually sell them for that reason. And you can get high ESR ceramics of the low quality. So again, generalizing, ceramics are low ESR. Wow, this one's the trickiest one to... The problem with this is the via is here with no copper, and the other side is where all the copper is. So this one is going to be very fun to try and desolder pump, because the heat's the other side. Way, just about got him. So now a 470 from this side. That is a tricky one that you don't want to do if you're not used to doing recaps. So that one's in, but yeah, look at all that plastic and everything else around there. Oh yeah, my ember mug broke, so I've got my golden one only now. The white one's broke and gone back, and to be honest, I might just buy another small one anyway, because I kind of like the small ones. But it was left upside down on the kitchen counter after it was, just cleaned normally. Probably left there for maybe 4 or 5 days, and then just doesn't charge. So I don't know, it's just gone into like the battery's drained deeply because it's not been on a stand for 4 days or what. But I was going to open it up, and then I thought I'll just send it back because I prefer my baby one anyway. So I'll probably just buy another one of these now, the smaller ones. Just waiting for Amazon to refund me money. Right, so that's done. Let's try to do these in groups. There's so many. I've got a lone soldier here, 100. That can be swapped for ceramic because it's just a bulk for these chips in the vicinity. So this is just sitting on the 5-volt rail close to these. So this is purely a bulk capacitor. There's no regulators around. There's nothing else it can be. So that's how you know this one is perfectly safe to swap for ceramics. There we go. Get the knack of it slowly. Uh, 100. That was 100, wasn't it? Yeah, 100. I will maybe do slightly out of focus. Yeah, the thing is, they should be sealed for water anyway. They're a mug, aren't they? They need to be washed. They've only ever been hand washed, but no, I think it was just deep discharge of the battery. If I could have got to the battery, then I'm sure I would have been able to just jump start the battery. There we go. It's in there. Yeah, we won't talk about the IPA. That's not the problem. They're perfectly fine. This one's been IPA'd. Yeah, they say only hand wash. Yeah, they definitely. I just wash them in the sink, literally. Like I put boiling water in, wipe the inside. But the fact they say that is also, they obviously must be sealed. I think the bottom of this cup kind of twists off if you like grip it and twist it. Let's put on. Oh, I was going to put it on mute a second, but phone call ended. Oh, so many caps! Wow. Right, we've got this little island here. Let's see what they are. 33, 33, 100, 100. So let's do 2 33s and 100 in order. So we push down onto the PCB. Like that. Wait for maybe 5 seconds. And lift. Yep. And push down. Wow. Even with tweezers, we're getting close to the plastic there. There we go. I must admit, the tweezers are really good for this one specific job, but they sit on my desk not being used, but when you do need them, they are useful. Like, in this very specific situation where you can't use hot air and you're in a tight space, I like them. Look at that. There we go. They're just an expensive item to sit on your desk not being used for 90% of the time. The curry takeaway now. There we go. Done. And then to put them back on, we will go this way. So 33s at the front. How they are hot as hell. Don't pick up caps you've just removed. One's ended up in a customer's bag over there. Right, and 33s. Put them on first. We definitely need the sub-controlled. I'm going to change the sign. It's massive again. I keep going back from the massive tip to the normal tip. We need the sub-controlled focus on this camera. I can write the software so you guys can change the focus for me. And then I can just sit and work away. And if you spot it not in focus, you can like send a little plus or minus to pull focus. I can actually write software to... You know what? I've just started making, because I've got all my own little servers now for the AI stuff. I've just started an image generation system on there. So we've got like a little API thing that can... I've got some models that are designed specifically for image recognition and image generation work. I could actually feed it straight into my server, feed it the image and tell it to pull focus. I could actually make it completely automated through software. That'd be kind of crazy. Like way overkill for focusing my camera, but that's actually a really good idea. It's one way to use my 20 grand rig, is just to pull focus for me. Right, now the 200s. This one I'm going to swap the other way because it's going to be easier for me to get this way in, I think. There we go. Yeah, you know when I said it wasn't that hot and I've been wearing hoodies, hence the hoodie. As soon as I put the hoodie on, it was nice and cool for like maybe an hour in the morning, and then it's been ridiculous all day. I've got the aircon on now, but I'm actually cool enough at the minute. It's been on full whack for 2 hours blowing in my face. So let's keep the remote next to me. But yeah, it's been hot today. It's because I said it wasn't. Like I've literally said, it's been cool for a few days. Right, this little stumpy one might cause us an issue. 220, 10 volt. I'm going to double stack. This is for headphone audio, or again bulk capacitance for here. But I'm just thinking I don't have a stumpy 220, so I'm just going to stack. What I'm going to do is stack 3 100 ceramics on top of each other. And again, it's for the audio amp and the circuit in this area, basically bulk capacitance for audio. So we're perfectly fine doing that here. And the legs are slightly bent on this one, so I don't think this one's going to fall out. It's going to be quite actually annoying to get out, this one is. I might have to just swap to that camera. Is that doing like a weird double jump when I swap to that camera? And I swear I see like two jumps every time that I keep going to that camera. Like a rapid flicker between. I can't even explain it. It just doesn't quite look right. There we go. It's actually quite easy. Once I've got in position. Yeah, I could have used it. It was more not necessarily heating up the pads. It was the fact that the legs were slightly twisted, so it wasn't going to just fall out. And therefore, right, where the hundreds. I knew I'd have to like grip it to pull it out, basically. So I just needed a position I could hold it in. So that's one on. You're going to see the leaning tower of caps now. In fact, we could put them side by side, but I'm going to do a stack. A bit more fun. So can't even tell, but there's a double. And time for the triple. I've missed a little jingly noise again as well. I don't know if it was a sub or a light, but whichever it was, thank you very much. There we go. So, triple stack. Slight lean, but that's fine. All nicely soldered. So that's our 300 instead of 220 for ceramic, but you're always better having more than less. So that's that row done. We've got this little nice pile there. We've got this pile here. This is probably the worst pile because we've got one that we've got to get out. Oh, no, there's all down here as well. They're all bad. Yeah, let's carry on. Let's just might do this pile here. And then we'll pick this up in the morning because I do have to go and get on with other stuff today as well. But let's just do a few more in here first. So we've got 47. And 100. So we'll do 47 and 100. Yeah, so easy when you know how to use them. $47 on. Let's go this side. Twist it around that way. And we're hoping it'd be nice if this fixed the audio, because then this is already fixed up then. But it could be. What's the best way to join the channel that gives you the most income? I don't really get anything from it, but at the minute it's just sub to YouTube or Twitch. I am in the middle of making a dedicated single sign-on website for everything Retro 6 sub-wise. And then there's going to be loads of extra stuff than just subs. So you're going to get like 10% discount on the store, premium access to the wiki with custom voices and themes, access to everything in a new app with diagnostics. Basically like tons of extra perks than just subbing to the channel. So I've been working on that in the background a lot. But at the minute, that'll all transfer over once I do that. But for now, just, you know, a sub to the channels helps. You know, I don't think I've got 70 subs. It never, it adds up and never takes off. So let's have a quick check. And because I get busy a lot of the times, I can stream 3 times a week and get like some nice subs, and then I just get busy for a week or two and barely stream, and then I lose all my subs. So it would be nice that, you know, it actually paid me some for my time, but it doesn't. Analytics. I never even. This is so bad. I never remember where the stuff is. Memberships. There we go. So on memberships for here. Oh, we actually see. So YouTube's quite good because we've got 43 members and it's not dropped that much. Wiki page, the new audio box was cut in half. Was it? Let's have a quick look. I'm in the middle of updating tons of stuff, by the way, the wiki and back-end servers and all sorts. But if you want report a bug, just DM me on Discord or whichever. So if I log in. Oh yeah, I moved it out of the way.
Prefer listening. I've been working hard to add realistic audio dictation.
I'm going to turn this into my own voice, like I say. Yeah, the problem is the US store isn't me, obviously. So we have distributors all around the world. The US is the only one that's like officially using our name, if you will, because, you know, we trust them. We've worked with them for years and stuff like that, but they aren't technically us. So, you know, the subs to this channel are not really to do with that. What's the issue with that box? You've seen maybe a different theme. What would the default theme be? It seems on. But yeah, if you want report a bug, screenshot it, chuck it in Discord somewhere. That's the best way of doing that. And then on Twitch, let's have a look at my sub. So what did we have? 43 on YouTube and settings. No, created dashboard, wasn't it? Community. Big Bro will know this. I never remember where to go on Twitch to find subs. I open every single side menu and I still don't see it. It's in a weird place. That black box looked cut off. That's just a screenshot image, if that's what you're referring to. So if you were referring to this thing, that's an image. That's the screenshot I'm showing you for what it looks like, so people know. Because if you don't log in, you don't see this. So it's literally a screenshot of. Where's the welcome to thing on? Welcome to the Retro 6. It's this. It's like this bit here. It's just a screenshot of that. Maybe that's what you were thinking of. Go to create a dashboard, community, or analytics. Community activity, maybe? No. Stream, research, analytics, overview, subs 18. So 43, 18, 50, 61. So we've got 61, not 74. So it doesn't stay in line. And we've we've had the 60 for about 6 months, so we just gain subs, lose subs, and that's it. It never really grows, unfortunately. And like I say, everything I do on stream takes almost 10 times longer than not being on stream. So it would be nice to actually get subs so that, I can then dedicate the time to it, knowing that, it's actually covering my time because I've got that much to do anyway with all the businesses. I just like to do the streams. It's something I want to do, but when you don't see me on stream, it's because I'm trying to run a business and make money and keep it afloat and stuff. So, yeah, any subs would definitely help. Or just, sharing the business around so people actually buy from the website, and then we make money that way as well, don't we? Yeah, Rusty on stream. I nearly brought him in just as well because I went in the kitchen, make the coffee, and he immediately ran to the fridge. So I might bring him on tomorrow if we make it on tomorrow. That's that one. Right, we've got 147. That 22 is going to be interesting. Right, I need to pay attention on this so I don't melt stuff. Ooh, this is going to be fun. I don't think I can get the tweezers in there without. I don't like that. What do we do here? I don't like how close they are. Technically, what we can do here is cut clean through instead of twisting. Let's cut clean through so I can get access to the pins underneath. That's what I'm going to do in this case, because then I can individually desolder each pin without applying any mechanical force to the pins. The best way there. That's the can off. Doing what you're just fixing some broken things on eBay, then putting them for a raffle. To be honest, it's just time again, isn't it? I run enough businesses that I don't want to start having to do something other than my business on stream. Because if I want to make money, I'm a software developer. I go and do my software. I make way more money than doing this, as we've said many times. But I like doing this. I like giving away knowledge. I've always liked sharing knowledge, hence the wiki and the fact I've done YouTube for free for 15 years on Angel 6, giving away all my software for free and not made a penny. So it's not that I do it for the money, but yeah, it'd be ace because if I actually got paid for it, it's like anybody. You feel more, it's more rewarding to feel like you're actually doing something that's, you're not wasting time on it, if you know what I mean. It's more rewarding and it shows that people appreciate it, and that's what you get with money. It's kind of you're telling, if people are going to sub to you, you're appreciated. It's not about the actual monetary value, but unfortunately, 15 years of giving away my knowledge for free hasn't done me any favours whatsoever. I've never gained once from giving away my knowledge. I would have been more successful keeping my knowledge to myself technically, in a financial only world, but I can't help it. I like to share my knowledge. I didn't have, when I was growing up, anywhere to gain knowledge from. I had to learn it all myself. So I just think how much I would have enjoyed having somebody giving away the knowledge for free when I was young. So I guess that's why I kind of do it regardless. But yeah, I lose so much money just spending 5 hours on stream doing a recap that took me 15 minutes off stream. That's them. Yeah, I mean, the only place I ever learnt was, oh no, my network's gone down in the middle of copying files over. I'm making a Dreamcast SD card, and my NAS has decided to glitch on me. Let me just fix that a minute. Yeah, the only person I learned from was a guy my dad knew when I was very young, like 9 or 10, learning computers, not really software, just computers at the time. And he taught me a little bit, but it didn't take long until I'd kind of gone into things he didn't know. And then after that, once it was software or fixing sound cards on Pentium Windows 95 machines and looking at the drivers and stuff, nobody knew it, and there was nothing in the library, there was no books, the internet wasn't really a thing. It's like that's what led me down to figuring everything out myself, and that stuck the rest of my life, really. So it did me a favour in one way, because that's how I approach everything now. I just presume the knowledge isn't out there and I've got to learn it myself, even if it is there. Whereas pretty much everybody else I know and see, the default is, oh, I need to know something, I'll Google or I'll ask somebody. Whereas my default is, I need to know something, let's figure out how it works. If I do Google for anything, it's just to get the baseline of potential initial understanding, but then I always know I'm going to figure it out my own way, whatever that means or however it means I'm going to do it. And I just have, I think with all the years I've done that, I've built a natural self-confidence that I don't feel like there's anything I couldn't do in a way. That's probably the most powerful thing, that I can look at something I know nothing about, quite happily know I don't know anything about it, but I've got the confidence that I can understand it. And just having the confidence is what makes you learn it, basically. These were the most tricky ones, probably. Oh yeah, did you ever used to get the games where, well, most of them were back in like the 90s, where you just sat flicking through the driver options. Like everything was Sound Blaster. Everything had so much compatibility with Sound Blaster, and you didn't even have a Sound Blaster card, but put it in Sound Blaster and a certain channel mode, and then all of a sudden your audio worked. Yeah, I think with AI, I'm using it tons now, but I use it in my own way, and it just speeds up my job. I honestly think just AI will only take away the jobs for people that, and no disrespect, I'm not meaning this in a kind of derogatory way, but it's only going to take jobs away from people that only have a little bit of knowledge in a certain area, because AI can only take away fairly simple parts of any job. So if you're a software developer, but you only know, say you can only make websites, and again, I can't really say this without sounding a bit derogatory, but say you only know websites. To me, websites are something I made when I was 10 years old, and I can now do them with my eyes shut, and I don't do them because they're just boring and no challenge. But there's many people that run businesses making software, making websites of all kinds. But to me, websites are the entry point into software. So I wouldn't look at a developer that can make websites, the whole stack of websites, start to finish, as anything more than a junior in my eye. It's not anywhere else, but to my level. So AI could take away software for websites like easily if you don't even know software. But say an order system that runs all of my business that I've made before AI was even out, it runs everything, it generates all your orders. If you've ever brought an order from us and you see that sheet that's printed off, that's my software, what I've written by just me. I've done every part of it. Takes the money, prints the pages, makes the website, does the orders, does the accounting, the stock check, ordering from suppliers, everything. That's all just me made it. If you give somebody Claude or even my software, you give them everything about it, they know how to use it, they know how to run it, they won't be able to make that with AI, because there's too many layers and too many parts of that system that if you don't know how to do it in software, Claude or any AI tool will not get it right over and over. It's not going to get it right. So it looks powerful, but it's only good at what it was trained on. And it also can't really, this one's tricky, it can't really do stuff that you can't already tell it to do in the right way. So even if it does something, it's not necessarily going to be correct. The amount of times I have to correct AI every day from, oh, it's done a task, but because I know as a software developer how that task should have been done, I have to stop and tell it, well, you've just done it this way. Even with all my protections and rules and everything else, it can still do it wrong. But if you don't have the skill in your industry to know that it did wrong, it doesn't know either that it's done wrong, and it will be absolutely convinced it's done everything right, and it will argue against you that it's done right. So you really have to have the knowledge of how something's made to make it right. It's a very dangerous facade that it can form, that it looks like you built something. Like I actually detected a big, well, put it this way, anybody that's bought a clean screen V4 could have had a free license without me ever knowing about it all the way through, because I used obviously the AI tools to help with development now, but I know how, like I say, I know how stuff's made. So I've had it help me keep on top and make a lot of the software and code in all my products. And one of the things it had a hand in was the clean screen website. So the back end, it's obviously, I make the initial structure and then I'll let AI start growing on top with good foundations. And one of the things it did that even went by me, just wasn't paying attention when I've submitted one of the codes into the branch, is it left an admin portal wide open to the internet, because at some point I've got IP restrictions on local networks, and when it runs through things like Docker, Docker changes the IP structure and you have to have a kind of proxy thing going on. Well, I give it all the info, I give it a working server with code I'd already written before of exactly how to do something, and it wrote all the tests to make sure it couldn't be bypassed, but it ran the test on the local network. So it naturally got approved as an admin and thought it had correctly done an admin section. So long story short, without going into loads of detail, it left a gaping wide admin loophole in the code that gives you guys free clean screen ultras. That's been there since I released it. And I naturally was just looking through my own code base this week. I do like sanity checks. I always review my own code with eyes and go through all of it, that, especially with using these tools, using your own knowledge to look and check. And I was like, that doesn't look right. So I proved it with my own test. And then obviously I still managed to get AI to then fix the loophole. But that's something that would go completely unaware. But if a hacker comes along and knows what they're doing and looks at it, it would have been able to silently buy infinite licenses to clean screens. So that's the danger, even for like me, that I've done software since I was 10 and I know what I'm doing, and I think I'm, keeping an eye on all the AI. If you don't know how software works, you wouldn't ever know that was a bug. Ooh, just touch that plastic a bit there. You'd never know that was a bug, and it'd just go unawares completely. And it's the same thing for it does legal documents now, doesn't it? They've got legal document stuff in Claude and other things, but it's like that. Oh, it can write a legal letter, and I'm sure it could, and I could look at it and think it's right, but I'm not a lawyer. I'd have no idea whether it was right or wrong. So it's the same kind of thing. If you don't know the industry you're using AI in, you have no idea whether it's right or not, and nothing is going to change that. You can't just go, I'm going to replace my entire legal firm with AI because AI says it's done it right. The same with software. Do not fire your software devs just because Claude is making you a website and you as a sales manager or CEO look at that and go, oh, look, I can now do what these devs are costing me money to do. I can absolutely guarantee you it's not doing it right. So it's dangerous, basically, in one way. It's very good if you know what to do with it and you use it right, and just think of it as a way to speed up your own abilities. Like now, the stuff I can do, this one's going to be a nightmare. The stuff I can do with AI assisting me, I can do in a day what would take me sometimes 2 weeks. But again, you've got to have the foundations and the knowledge to do that. But think of it as just a way to automate a lot of your jobs and work. And again, I think everybody will use AI differently. Like I've made tooling and code and rules and everything around exactly how I work. And that's not going to work for other people. And I don't think it should. I think use AI exactly how it suits you, not what suits other people is not how you work. So you've got to This one's going to be a nightmare to get off. You've got to really find your way with AI, and it's not from looking at what other people are doing. What I'd say the next thing with AI is local. I don't know how I'm going to get this cap off, to be honest. I might hot air him off. We're away from plastic. I'm going to hot air him off. I mean, there's paper there, but paper can burn. I'm going to go for... Actually, no, I'll tell you what. No, let's just cut it. I was going to say I'll burn it off. Yeah, I think we're in the early days, aren't we? AI is only... Well, technically, the large language models, small language models, they've been around since the 70s. They've only just become something that's actually useful. But let's say 5 years AI has been something serious. That's like me saying 5 years into my software journey at 15, I've mastered it and I think I know what I'm doing. Never look back now where I was at 15 with software. I absolutely didn't. So nobody's an expert in AI yet. We're all finding a way, and I think the problem is there's so much hype around it that it's very easy to get lost in the delusion of what people think it is. It is not a tool that just magically replaces intelligence or skill or industry. It will take away some business, like I've said, where if you're running a web design business and that's all you're doing, then yes, AI is probably going to take your job. But if you're doing something more technical or you've got more skill, why does this not want to even come out? Then, it's not that. It's an automation tool, I'd say. It's a way to speed up what you do. And that's how I use it anyway. I use it to speed up everything I do to a ridiculous level. Like sometimes I just can't believe how fast I can work with it. Oh yeah, and I'll show you the image gen stuff. I just thought this was funny. So if you want to do image generation on AI, I don't know whether I can show you this actually because I don't want to give away my my internal IP address stuff. Maybe I can. Let me see if I can. How do I do this? Maximize. Right, you watch. I'll end up exposing my IP address by mistake, but I don't think it matters. It's internal. So where are we? Let's go to this. So this is, again, a little tool. This is my my lovely RTX machine that cost me 20 grand, running a Blackwell 6000. I've got Laguna loaded up at the minute. I was trying out, the best one so far for me is this Quen 27B. Kind of want to drop another 10 grand on another RTX and double this to go to DeepSeek, but for now, 27B is okay. I've now started an image gen section, so I've basically got ComfyUI, which is an open source tool aimed at using, again, models. So this is just a Quen model. It's running on the machine. And I've set it up for like image gen. So if you run this is just running locally on the RTX. So look how fast that is. Generate like a pickup truck. But the cool thing is, let's say hang on, why am I even typing? A sophisticated pug in a tuxedo. Oh yeah. And then run this. Give me a pug. Come on. Yes. What more do I need to say? 20 grand machine paid for. That's all I care about. So yeah, that was the first thing I did when I got the machine. But yeah, I've made that part in. So that entire website thing is running on the server, and the APIs are running through my UI, so it can run into all my tools. So even though I can do that in visual, I can now put that in the back end of code. I could expose that to subs. Subs could generate images on the fly. I could bake it into, say, the web design side of AI and have my agent be able to use specific models I set up in Comfy to generate digital assets on the fly and ridiculously fast. Or it can just be a pug engine. I think we just make that purely generate pug images all day long. I think that's what we do for that. But yeah, the tools are powerful if you use them for what works for you. And most of mine is it allows me to actually do so many things. I wouldn't be able to do this much as one person and keep on top of all my businesses without the help of tools like that to make my job quicker. So it's definitely, it is here to stay, and it has got a place. I just think at the minute people don't realise its place. They don't use it like, you know, for the right things. Yeah, to be honest, that looks pretty much like Rusty. That's pretty cool. I should I'm just going to be generating so many pug images now. Right, what do we have left? That's that area done. That area done. We might as well just finish off the caps, haven't we? There's another sneaky one there. That's going to be, that's probably the worst one yet, because you can't even get it from. Yeah, that is a nightmare. That's a really bad one to get to. Yeah, we'll get these off first. Tweezers. I don't know if I can get the tweezers down there. Shall we tackle this one first? Straight down. Yeah, I'm going to have to go straight down with that. Just about. Yeah, there's no other tool I would have been able to do this with. So that's 100. 100 microfarad. I think I've managed to get one back up, I'm not sure. I've got no light, I can't see what I'm doing. Right, I think that's got it off. There we go, look at that. Nothing melted either. Well, other than maybe a little bit there, maybe. Well, that was pretty good. Oh yeah, doggage. Oh, I wonder if I can do. See now, side quest. See, this isn't a very powerful model. So this is only running a 4 billion parameter model. Claude is 1 trillion parameters. The Quen I'm using for some coding is 27, which is insanely low. 4 is like ridiculous. So I probably need to replace this, but let's try. Drinking a cappuccino. Go. And yes! He's on a cruise. That's so cool. Oh, we've got a new thing every stream now. Right, 100 microfarad. See, that's worth all the money. Don't need it for anything else. I'm just going to tell you what I should do. An automated cron job that in the morning at 9 o'clock it sends a random image on Discord of pugs. Just makes up a random quote, generates the image and posts it. That's a sub feature. You can pay for that, actually. Just a sub channel of random pug pictures. I'd probably make more money doing that. Just a YouTube channel of just random pug pictures and videos. Which you can actually do, you can do full-blown videos on it as well. You can animate that now. In the same stuff, the Conf UI stuff. I just haven't got around to doing that yet, and I technically don't have any use for it yet in the software stack. Like, I don't really use images in the software. What I do, I tend to make the images. But I figured, oh shit, I left the tweezers just sitting on my desk, draining battery. It's a good tool to have because it's actually, it's a really powerful thing it can do once you start realizing how good the images can be. I'm going to send that picture to the missus. I'm going to put it in Discord. It's going in Elite Members. I just like it. Why not? You know, sometimes in the Elite Members channel, people will wonder what's going on. If they're not on stream, they'll just wonder why I post random shit in there. Let's have a look. Discord. I'm not even going to explain it. Just going in Elite Members. Just a picture of a pug. And then open up chat to the missus. Random just pug pictures. Fish. I know what that'll do though. The missus will want to go on a cruise just because the pug looks like he's on a cruise. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. These can all be taken off. So we've got 3.3 to, oh, of course. a 1, a 22, a 3.3, and a 3.3. I'm so going to forget that. Let's get them out now before I forget. We have a 1, 3.3, no, 22 next. One 22. Oops. That's a 1, 22, 3.3 above that. And then a 3.3, another one, of course, next to that. So I've just lined them up on my desk in the same order. So when I take these off, I'm not going to get mixed up. I don't think you, to be honest, I don't think you could recap a PC Engine LT without quite a lot of experience and a lot of tools, because to get these caps off is required tweezers, definitely, for many places. Cutting for other places. Trace repair when you rip one. And there's just plastic everywhere. You need a desolder pump because you can't use heat to clear the holes. It's definitely one of the most tricky, might be the most tricky thing to recap technically. Right, and now this one is going to be, we're going to end up melting that, I reckon. Yeah, good luck with that as well. I won't be, well, I might as well finish these. We've got 5 caps, and then I'll be off as well. This one, can we get in there just about? There. Did not think we'd get that last one. Oh yeah, you can Kapton tape. Yeah, in fact, Kapton tape wasn't a bad idea there. I could have used that. Yeah, summarizing things that are fact and regurgitating them and in short bursts, AI is actually really good for, because it doesn't get lost in context or invent stuff. Like I said, there is a hell of a lot of use for it. People just need to discover what that is that works for them, and also know the limits of it, like I say, and know when it's actually capable versus hallucinating, because models do not know. They're incapable of knowing what they did in the last step. They're incapable of even knowing why they did something. So if you ever ask AI, like, oh, why did you do that? It's got no way of knowing why, because just of how, if you dig into how AI works, how the models work, conceptually, it can't understand its own decisions. It doesn't even know why it did the things it did in the last cycle. So AI is never going to tell you openly it did something wrong, because it never knowingly would. So it's gets a bit philosophical at some points when you start thinking of it that way, that it's incapable of knowing, its past decisions or why it did what it did 30 seconds ago, and yet can appear intelligent as well, because it is just ultimately a massive matrix block of decisions. That's what the weights of the model are. So a trillion parameter weighted model like Claude is just a trillion parameters in a matrix that go through a set of computations and calculate the very next token, which is just basically every single token generation on AI is just predicting the most accurate next letter in the sentence, if you will. And that's how it forms English words if it's trained on English. So it doesn't know the word "the," for example. It just is trained on data that it presumes, based on the input you send it, the next logical reply in the alphabet to form a word is so on, and it actually ends up writing English. Like that whole thing about what is it, when you put like a 1,000 monkeys in a room on typewriters, eventually the works of Shakespeare would come out, that kind of thing. That's pretty much what the models are doing. Right, last cap. This is probably going to be one for this side, so I can grab on and warm up. Get on there. Actually, I probably need to flood this with solder first. and then grab on to him, warm up. There we go. So the only mishap we had was that one cap with a rotted trace, which was luckily a nice easy repair. That is 100. Is that 100? Wow, getting old in eyesight. 220, so we need to stack. I'm going to stack 2 on there. How am I going to clean that hole? I reckon desolder pump. Where's it gone? There, so that's the hole I need to clear. Need to get the soldering iron tip in the hole, let it warm up a minute. And I really need to get better. Desolder pump, this is the it's the useless cheap one that doesn't work and has no power. Let's try this hole. If not, maybe hot air. There we go. Just have to be really fast. The RF, to be honest, not many people really ever want. Why have I cleared the holes? I was putting ceramics on. Okay, I might as well put an aluminium on there. Don't know why I did that. In fact, is the 220 low enough? Low profile? No, it's not. So I'll clear that hole for no reason. I'm just going to stack 100s on there. Yeah, the RF ports almost nobody ever wants, so we don't really test them. We just have clean comps on. But I know from doing things like Master System 2s and that, yes, the RFs do fail fairly regularly on them. So it's more than likely fairly common. Because I know a lot of them where we used to test RF, and like the VCRs, they were definitely faulty. Of course, the last one was the most tricky. Oh yeah, you're welcome. It's oh, that isn't actually soldered on. I have to get it from this side, I think. There we go. Ah, it's a tricky one. Mainly to not melt plastic. There we go. I'm going to leave that slightly off position as well, given the where this is at. That's that, another stack. And at least we know ceramics are never going to leak either, because they are solid state, if you will. There is no fluid in the ceramics. So that's now on there. And I think that is finally a fully recut Alti. That's quite nice, actually. We zoomed out. Look at that. Pretty nice. Not a single bit of melted plastic. What a shame about that one, though, with the damaged trace, but never mind. Everything else is all clean, all recapped. And let's see if that's fixed the audio. Either way, I'm done for today. But hopefully, it would be nice if this thing had good audio now. Well, knowing how I look, nothing will power up. Sometimes once you actually fix caps, it can reveal other issues after. But I'm hoping in this case, we have no issues. It's just working audio. We've got to chuck back on the clean power. So that was ground here, and I'll fit this properly if this all works, so it's not just floating. Ground there, input to that pin over there. Probably zoom in a bit. I can actually use this monitor for visual myself. I'm going to tap the 9 volts off that pad. Both of those pads are 9 volts, so it doesn't matter about them being close to each. And then this will just tap onto the 5 volt. So ignore the rough wires for now. We'll tidy all that up after, but we have the clean power now handling the 5 volt rail for us. We only care about audio for now. Can always plug the screen in after, so I'm just going to put in the game, the audio. Let's bench power this thing up and hope for the best. So grab on there. This wants to be 9 volts on the input, which we are still on the correct input. That's 9 volts. No, so kind of better in one way, but definitely have audio issues there. And I think we did it on the speaker and there was no difference. So it's not the caps that have got the audio issue. So we'll have to look at the audio circuit after that, which could be, it could be something to do with the 6.5 volt down here. We don't know, but I doubt, because I've done this on another Alti and there was no issues. So we're more than likely going to have to either swap out the audio amp, which I think I've got spares because I think it matches the PC Engine GT amp. This is definitely an audio amp. I know the JRC. It might be these inductors. I can't see it being a broken trace with it being noise. It's not going to be the caps now, they're all new. It's not going to be the wheel. There's too much noise on that for it to be the wheel. It's a funny one. We're going to have to start by looking at these 6270s, 6260s. These are just PC Engine chips, so we can find out where the audio is generated on a schematic of the GT. Then tap off directly on the chip to find where the audio is okay, and then work away to this amp until it goes corrupt, and that's how we're going to figure out the audio issue. So for now, that'll do us. Unfortunately, the recap hasn't solved the audio, but it needed doing anyway. That's the last thing to figure out now, why the audio is bad. But like I say, for now, that'll do for today. So thanks everybody for joining in. I'm now going to get some grub and then carry on doing software in the living room or generating pug images. One or the other. Probably pug images. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for everybody joining in, and thanks for I think we got a few subs on the stream as well, so thanks for those. St. Bernard image, yeah, probably will be. It's going to be. We need a pug/dog channel, that's for sure. The best use of really expensive hardware.